Yeah, it's just people who just want to make a living out of it. But the professionalism, it is a big problem when it comes to most of the people who do the water sighting and all the stuff. Because as I was going around Zim, uh, people were testifying, and most of the people were complaining. Most of them, they were complaining about the sighting, guys, because the actual drilling is not a big problem. Drilling is not a big problem. People, they can just, it's just putting the machine and the drill bits, whatever they call them, then they drill until they get water. But the actual thing is the sighting. Do they understand? I know there's good company, few good companies here in Zimbabwe that can do the proper sighting, but I know they're a little bit expensive. But even though they're expensive compared to other guys who just charge $150 or $170, in places where the water is, they'll find water. But in the places where there is no water, that's where the problem comes from. Because what you find is like it's not far from here. My um my local friends, one of them, they did sighting. They do twice, three times when they do sighting. And what they did, the guys who do sighting, they tell them, yes, we have water here, we have water there, and there, and then there. They come, the drill, there was nothing. They go to the other side, the drill, there was nothing. You know, if I say there was nothing, I mean, the bore is dry, very, very dry. Even a drop of water, there's nothing. They just hit. Sometimes it's a rock. You just hit a rock for 100 meters, 120, 130. And it's totally crazy. It's not economical. How? Yes, some of them, there is one of the guys that I had here in Rusap area that he drew the ball up to 90 meters. So he was about to give up. He was about, sorry, there's a lot of flies. He was about to give up. So he drew up to 90 meters. Then he ended up saying, let me just try to go deep, a little bit deep, maybe to 100. Then when I go to 100, I'm done. I'm not going to drill anything further. Then what happened? On 95 meters, the water comes out. A lot of water comes out. So that's another story. But others, not far away, they tried 4 times. They go up to 100. There's no water. But the sighting says there is water. So, I don't know what to say about sighting in Zimbabwe. Because if your area doesn't have, like, if your area have water, sighting is easy. But if the water is too deep, and some of the sighting, they cannot understand how big is the rock underneath, that's where the problem starts. That's where the guy who do sighting here, he what he said to me, he said, when they do sighting, most of the things they are looking at, it's is the weakest point of the parent. It's not the parent rock. I don't know whether the parent rock, whatever, but the rock that is under the ground. But I say they're looking for the weakest point where they can drill it and go underneath it, or they're looking for the cracks. That's what they're looking for, because they know some of the time it's difficult for you to go under that rock. And other rocks, they have water, some they don't have, some they are completely dry. That's why I can witness some they are completely dry. So he was looking for the weakest point, and he did find the weakest point just behind me, where I show where my boy is. But what I found again, it was that point, it was not that weak, because we drill from 30 from 0 to 80 meters, but it was still on the rock. But we did find the water. The guy who drew, the guy who was operating the drilling machine, he just tell me that most of your water is on 60 meters. Going deep down, it's just a rock. And that's what happened. But it was a stressful day, because at the end of the day, you are just paying a lot of money for the results that you are not happy with. But I was actually convinced the following day. It was like a relief, because what happens inside this, I was not expecting that around tomorrow morning, it was not even 24 hours, because they finished drilling around 5 p.m. and we wake up early in the morning. You know, if you to all the people who do trading, they will understand what I mean. When you are losing, when you are losing, you always make sure that after each and every second, you go on your phone checking whether you're winning or not. So that's what happened to us. I wake up early in the morning. I take the long rope, because I do have a long rope, more than 100 meters, with my young brother, to see if there's water inside. So what happened? We put that rope inside, and we were measuring when it started to get wet. So it was like a shock to us, because we were not expecting such a lot of water inside. So we put the rope. Then you see the water was around 60. It was on Sunday. It was around on 40 meters deep. Sorry. Uh, 60 meters deep. The water. Then I said, where the water is coming from? Because when they flash, they did not flash a lot of water, but where the water is coming from, because around all the 60 meters was under the water. Then we just, okay, let's forget about it. Let's wait and see the 24 hours. So at the end of the day, we come back again. Here we go. We can see the water on just 6 meters deep. You can see the water like a normal well that people dig here. So from there, the water is always there, but we never use the water. We only start using the water last week. When we start taking out the water, every time we try to use it, but the water always recover very well coming back. So that's why today I suggest to put my pump deep down to see what will happen after I pump almost all this deep to 60 meters. I want to pump all the water out and see how it will recover, and see how the bore will recover. But the area where I'm staying, we are not close. We are very close to the wetlands. We are very close to the wetlands. So I know most of the wetlands, they have a big rock underneath. That's what people said. So the soil on top gets wet, because it doesn't have any place to go. So that's why we always have these wetlands. Other than that, let's get into business. It was just it was my story about this bore drilling stories. There is a lot of people, they're losing their money. And a lot of people, they're fighting with these guys, especially the guys who do sighting. They're fighting a lot with them. They're fighting a lot because everyone will just say, you said to me this one said to me this, you said to me this, you said to me to this, you said there's water but there's no water, where is the water? And but to all Zimbabweans, what I want you to know, guys, it's yes, we rely on science. When you drill our bores, we rely on science, but Science always go 99% or 95%. We will never be accurate each and every time. But although we prove that science works in most of the time, science is always right, because if we can do a heart transplant, science can actually do that without a problem. But some of the time we fail. Science fails. So about sighting, what I suggest to most of the people, you must understand the geological uh, features of your area. You must understand your environment, how how you grow up getting what out of it, and those are the things to understand. Because me, if I did not hire the guys who do sighting at my house, I was going to point somewhere to drill, and they were just going to have the same results. They were just going to have the same results. So about sighting, rather go for the reputable company, the company that you know they specialized in sighting mainly, the company that have their own sighting guys, and who can guarantee you that if anything goes wrong, we will do this, we will do this. Because most of these guys, they just do sighting and they go. You will never see them again. You will lose your money, you will lose everything. I know it's difficult. The way people get money is so different. The money, others, it's our life savings that we are sacrificing just to have a better life in our rural development, Zimbabwe. No one will change the country for us unless us Zimbabweans put our hands together and try to rebuild our country. How can we rebuild our country? We're not going to rebuild our country by just buying cars and cell phones. Cell phones will die, cars will die, but there is investment that is permanent. That is permanent in our country. Because if you do infrastructure, building some stuff, whatever you're building, whatever you put, those things will remain there for years and years to come. They will remain there. Your grandchildren will use them, your child will use them, everyone will use, and they always remember you for that. Even if you plant some mango trees in my village, our grandfather, he planted a couple of mango trees years back, maybe nearly a century. Not a decade, century. Long time ago, but all those mangoes, they're still there. We're still enjoying those mangoes as we come. So that's legacy. That's something that you have to look after, to look upon, trying to do things that will live. Even if we pass on, those things will remain there. No one will take them off. Even if they are not even used by your relatives. But those people always point the finger at you that, this guy did this for us, this guy did this for us. Okay, I don't want to I think I speak too much. Let us go into today's business, installing our bore pump.